Good morning guys and welcome to a new video. In this video I'm going to continue discussing the Starseeker E55 grinder, and if you have followed my previous videos, I did an unboxing video on this grinder. I gave you some information about it, and then I tried it for some days, and then I launched another, or I posted another video on how I use it to make my coffee, and it was really easy to use, and it gave me very good results. So in this video I'm going to give you like a discussion or a review, or we can say a quick comparison between the grinder and the Near Zero, since both of them are very similar. They have the same kind of conical burr, and the Near Zero has some very like big name in the grinder market for home users, even though it's not a high-end grinder, but still it is really very I would say very famous and very reputable. Comparing to some new grinders like the Chinese grinders we see every day, I'm not sure if some of you are like me, who are like giving their mind to the new ideas, and I'm not focused only on the very famous things. I like to try new things. Sometimes new things are really giving good and amazing results. Like Near Zero, one day it was new grinder, nobody knew what is Near Zero. Then it made its own name. I believe that some other Chinese brands nowadays are making their own names, and they will be very, very famous as well. As you see, both grinders they don't look similar in anything, except that both of them are grinders. The Starseeker, if I start with it, it's, as you see, very small grinder, very small footprint comparing to the Niche Zero. Looks like a very tiny one next to it. If I make them in a horizontal way to give you a better look, I think this is going to give you an insight how it looks, each one of them. If I put them next to each other like that, still the Starseeker looks very small in comparison to the Niche Zero. Both of them are similar also in weight. So the Niche Zero weighs around 4 kilograms, while the Starseeker E55 weighs only around 3.5 kilograms. But the point here is that the Niche Zero weighs 4 kilograms, but it looks big, so it's easy to move. It's not very stable when you use it. You can just really move it with one finger and it goes anywhere. But if you look at the Starseeker grinder, because it has a very solid base and the body is small, and the capacity, I mean the volume of the grinder is not that big as the Near Zero. 3.5 kilograms here make the grinder feel like more solid and more stable. Okay, and this is a very like obvious thing that anyone will meet the grinder will just feel the moment you have it with you. Okay, so this is the first thing. The second thing is the cone. Like both of them have the burrs as conical burrs, but the Niche Zero has the conical burr of the size of like 63 millimeters, and that's the same burr that is there for the Maser Coni grinder, the very famous name, Italian name of course. And the Starseeker E55 has only 55 conical burr, conical burr. So the difference between the two burrs is not that big, 55 and 63. We're only talking about 8 millimeters. I know this is in terms of grinder quality and grind consistency and all that, it really gives different results for sure. Yet I just thought of making the comparison because they are very similar. If I look at the Starseeker Edge, the previous model that I had before the E55, sorry, this had only 48 millimeters conical burr, and as you see, I didn't compare it ever to the Niche because the gap between the sizes of the two burrs is really big. It's more than 30%. So I thought of, since this is very close to that one, so it's better to give a comparison between both. Otherwise it wouldn't be a very fair comparison to give it against this one. Maybe I'll do another comparison between the Starseeker Edge and the A55 later on. If you want me to do that, you please tell me in the comments. If in terms of like the other aesthetics of the grinder, as you see, the Niche Zero has this like tray for the cup, and it has a hole here so that it stays in place, and it has some groove here so the cup will not move. This is the mechanism that the Niche Zero uses, so that they make sure that the cup will not move while grinding. On looking at the Starseeker A55, there is no groove, there's nothing, but there is a magnet. So when you put the cup, it always goes to place. This is a new notion that we have seen in a lot of grinders, recently, and it's actually giving you easy use of the grinder where the cup will not go and touch the body of the grinder like what happens here in niche. Let me show you what I mean. So because the cup sometimes hits the niche zero's body, so this ends with some like, you know, scratches on the body of the grinder, which is not very pleasing, honestly, if I say. So this is about the how the grinder looks like. The niche zero doesn't come with any bellows. It just has this hopper. This is enough for around 50 grams of coffee, while the Starseeker E55 can be used with a hopper or without hopper. If you use it with a hopper, it comes already with this hopper. It's like a bellow hopper, and it comes with its own cover. Okay, so the cover goes exactly in place, which is a very simple thing to use in case you want to blow the remaining of the coffee. However, there is no coffee that remains usually when I use the grinder. And if you don't want to use it with the bellow and the hopper, you can use it with the other cover that comes with it. So it comes with two different lids, this one and that one. This one goes only, as you see, they're not very similar. This one goes directly on the grinder like that, in case you don't want to use it with the bellow, and this gives the grinder even smaller footprint. As you see now, it's very, very small. If I compare it to the previous way it looked with the hopper, it looks bigger. And I like that the hopper, so the hopper here that comes with it, the silicone that's made, the hopper made of, is looking actually nice, and at the same time it's not feeling cheap. It feels solid, it feels nice, and at the same time it is good to blow the air so that you take out any kind of remaining coffee. Okay, so that's about how the hopper looks like. Inside the grinder here, the niche zero, there is like the niche zero, they call it flow control disc, that acts actually like a flow control disc because it allows the beans to fall one by one. As you see here, this is the plastic part. Let me get the grinder closer to the camera. As you see, so it has a small hole here that the beans have to fall one by one, so that the grind consistency will be better, and at the same time it will not allow the coffee to, you know, jump out of the burrs and popcorn while you grind them. On the other hand, here we don't have a flow control disc and we don't have any of that, but we have this this is like you know, anti-popcorning device that is made of metal, and it is already installed in the body of the grinder. So it is one piece in here in this color, so we cannot take it out. It is just inside, and it doesn't help, it doesn't allow the beans to jump while grinding out of the grinder, so that it also gives you some good consistency while using the grinder. So I see that both of them have their own features, both of them have their own way of giving you a good experience. Yet it's up to the person who uses them whether you prefer something like the niche because of its name, because of how famous it is, or you like something like the Starseeker because it's a new name, yet it gives you lots and lots of improvements over every generation they provide, and at the same time they maintain the very cheap prices they are always offering. So looking at the price of both grinders, this one falls only for like $200, which is a very cheap one. And also there is a code that if you use, I leave the code in the comments, it will give you $20 discount on your purchase. So this is about the Starseeker E55. Looking at the niche zero is definitely higher in price. It's around, I think, $500 if I'm not mistaken. No, not $500. I think it's around what? Let me check. Let me confirm the price of the niche zero. So it falls around $700 or $675. So we're talking here about triple the price of the Starseeker E55. So does it mean that the niche zero, since it's even more than triple the price, does it give triple the quality of this one? This is something that I can't say and you can't say. I believe that it cannot give triple the quality unless we look at other aspects like the longevity of using the grinder. Will this one last as long as this one or no? This is something that we cannot know, because when we got the niche zero for the first time, we did not know how long will it last with us. Okay, so we have to give the Starseeker some time to judge it longevity wise, whether it's really good products that will last for years like the niche zero and other models or no. So nobody can tell how long will the Starseeker or any kind of Chinese grinder nowadays will last unless you give it some time, like you gave the time to the niche zero. Looking at other aspects like the motor of the niche zero, The motor of the Net Zero is definitely way stronger. This is 170 watt motor versus 72 motor only, 72 watts motor only. So does it mean that the grinder will not grind well or no? I'm actually like, I'm not saying that this is because it has a more powerful motor, then it's definitely gonna be better, because it depends on the coffee you're grinding. I mean, both of them grind light roast coffee up to dark roast coffee. So both of them I didn't face any issues with grinding any kind of beans with them. Like it didn't happen, at least to me, when I throw some beans in the grinder, even if it's cold starting and then it stucks and it doesn't grind. This happened with me when I used the DF64V. If I start it as a cold start, usually it sometimes it stalls and I have to open the grinder and take out the beans and stuff. But this didn't happen with this one, and nor that one. So that's about the motor and how many watts does it have. Let's try the sound of each one of them and see whether you will feel difference or no. We'll try the sound while both of them are empty and while both of them are grinding coffee. Meanwhile, let's also try them by making some coffee. And should I first, before grinding the beans, let's open each one of them and see how easy or hard it is to open each one of them. Okay, so first I will try to turn on the Starseeker E55 without any coffee in it. That's the sound it produces. And for you to know, this runs at 312 RPM per minute, and this one runs at 330 RPM per minute. So both of them are very similar in the RPM. This is how the Net Zero sounds. So when you plug in the Net Zero and the electricity, usually this light will always be on. So there is a red light here, as you see. I hope you can see it clearly. Okay, this light under the switch on and off key, it will always be turned on. And when you look at the other side, the E55, the Starseeker E55, there is one button here on the side, and this button only turns on into white color when you turn on the grinder like that. So it turns on. When you turn it off, it goes back off. Okay, so that's also something to keep in mind when you look at both of them. Both of them, like the Net Zero's body is not very slanting, it's actually coming like straight. Okay, so talking about the gravity wise, and if the body of the grinder is a little bit angled, this will help the grounded coffee to fall faster and better. The Net Zero's way of falling the coffee is like straight, but the Starseeker here comes with angled body, as you see here. So the body itself is based on a base, and this base is like giving the body the allowance to get angled a little bit. Not sure how much is the degree of the angle here, but this is also something to mention. Okay. Meanwhile, there is also one thing here about the Starseeker grinder, which is that it has a magnetic shoot. Definitely the Net Zero doesn't have a magnetic shoot, so that's also a plus for the Starseeker. So it's a magnetic shoot, you can definitely take it out and in, and under the shoot directly, this is the sweeper that takes out all the coffee. So the distance that the coffee travels is very small. Once the coffee gets ground, it falls directly in the chute into the cup, as you see. So it's a very small distance. There is no way for the ground coffee to stay anywhere or to get locked in somewhere where you need to blow or do anything. Net Zero's way is not the same, because this cannot be taken out. And as you will see, I will try to actually I cannot do it. I cannot show you on the camera because the angle will not help me with that. But the distance that the coffee will travel here is a little bit bigger than here. Okay, so this is about how the coffee travels. Now let's open each grinder and see how easy or hard it is to open the grinder. I'll start with the Starseeker E55. So simply just turn back the collar like that, anti-clockwise, until it just comes out like that in your hand. This is how easy it is to take it out. Same for the Net Zero. If you turn the collar back like that, it will also come out easily. This allows easy cleaning as well. So both of them come out easily, as you see. Now, since I opened it, I have to quickly give it sort of a clean. I use the vacuum. Okay, so to take out the grinder here, I'll just take, the E55, I'll just take that part out with my hand, and that is the external color, the external burr, the round one. This is how it looks. Okay, it has very tiny coffee grounds remaining from the grinding I did, and these parts, as someone of you guys mentioned in the comments, these help act like a bearing to help the color while moving between the grades, between the grind grades. Okay, so these three parts help you when you choose the grind like mark or step, because they act like the bearing. Okay, for the niche 0, we also have to take that one out, but I think before taking it out, we have to take out the bolt here that holds the burr. Okay, so let's do that. And meanwhile, before doing that also, let me show you how this one here looks from the inside. This is how it looks from the inside. A very simple one. There's nothing a lot inside it. You just take out this bolt and then the burr will be out in your hand. So let's see if both of them will work with the same screwdriver. So this is size 10, works here. It does not work here. So this one requires, I think, a bigger one. It was, I believe it was there. No, it wasn't there in the box, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm. So for the Starseeker E55, it goes with size 13. Okay, that's the size that will work with this one. So to take it out, you simply have to unscrew that one. But meanwhile, because it's the same like that one, you have to make sure you hold the burrs with something. So I usually use a chopstick like that to put it down, to make sure I have some resistance. Then when I take it out like that, it gets unscrewed. I believe it has to go anti-clockwise. Yeah, so just give it a very tiny push anti-clockwise, clockwise, then it comes out in your hand. Okay, and that is how the burr looks like. Let's clean the burr together. This is the washer over the burr. So I'm trying to do all the steps with you so that it looks like you're cleaning the grinder, at the same time you're also looking at every part in it. It comes also with this lock that goes into the shaft. So if I take out this part here, it comes like that. So it has a lock here. I think this one doesn't come out, and this is where it goes against the burr itself. So this hole goes here so that the burr will be always in place, and this lock will go inside the shaft here vertically so that the grinder will all move in the same direction at the same time. Give it a quick clean. There's nothing under the burr, very tiny grounds. I'll show you before cleaning them. That's how it looks. Very, very minimal coffee remaining, because it gives very good results. Like, it gives zero retention of the coffee, just tiny amount of dust, just very tiny amount of dust, coffee dust. It has no weight. I believe it has no weight. So that's all. See, that's all it fell from the grinder. Very minimal. So we would say that the grinder is already clean inside. So let's put back everything, or first, before putting back everything, let's take out everything from the niche 02. So to take out things from the niche 0, we'll use the key, that screwdriver that comes with the grinder in the box. So we take it out like that. I believe it's also, yeah, same idea. This goes anti-clockwise. Once you take this one out, this is the niche 0 flow control disc that will help the beans not to popcorn while being ground. At the same time, it will hold everything in place. Then you can take out the external burr like that. If you followed up my previous videos, I changed that part because usually it's coming in plastic, but I changed it with this one that's made of steel, because this one is better. It doesn't bend over time, and it gives more consistency for the grinder while working or operating. That was the claim that based on it, this part was made by a lady on the Niche 0 group. It's called, I think, Chin, something like that, and that's what's under the Niche 0's burr. Of course, a lot of old coffee stuck there because of the oils, so this needs serious cleaning now. I'll give it a thought to clean and come back. So this is the part after cleaning. It has Mazer's name on it, of course. Okay, very tiny bits of coffee remaining between the burrs, but I took out the oil part. This was the most important one. Now this is how it looks. This brush also comes with the Niche 0. The Starseeker E55 comes with another brush that is smaller in size, and it's black in color. I'll show you also. So this is the brush that comes with the Starseeker E55. Okay, though we have to say that the grinder itself is like always clean, so you don't get worried about cleaning it because there's no coffee that's stuck inside. And most of the time, what you put in, you just take out. Okay, so this is the first cone that comes with the Niche 0. Comparing to that, I mean the external cone, or the round one. This is what comes with the Starseeker. There's also a little bit of coffee remaining here. So under the flash I can see that, but with just looking at it with eyes, I usually don't see it. That's how each of them looks like. Okay, I'm trying to show you how they look geometry wise. Not sure if they are very similar or no in terms of geometry, but I see that the teeth here look bigger than that one. Not sure if this is because of the size or that's the design itself. It has bigger teeth here on the Niche 0. Okay, looking at the grinder body of the Niche 0, what is inside here? So we have this part, this black part that's like locking the shaft against the burr and the Niche 0's disc. And this is the cone itself. Let's give it a quick clean also, so we can look at it properly and compare it to the other cone then. So these are the two cones. So 8 cores versus 7 cores. That's how each one of them looks like. The size is definitely very obvious that this one is bigger than that one. 63 versus 55. That's how they look. Okay, so this is how each one of them looks like in terms of how they are. And this is the sweeper, also full of coffee remaining and oil. I have to give it a quick clean as well. So this is it after it got cleaned. And that is the sweeper of the Starseeker E55. So on the right side is the Starseeker's sweeper. The left side, this is the Niche Zero's sweeper. Okay, both of them are well made. This one has 4 blades or 4 edges. This has only 3. Okay. Inside the grinder, there is lots of coffee, of course. Here, this needs cleaning. Give it also cleaning with the brush and then the vacuum. Let's see how much will fall. That's a good idea. Because we didn't find anything in the other one. So I didn't clean the Niche Zero for like, let's say this is the 3rd month. Last time I cleaned it 2 months, it was 2 months back, yeah. So 2 months back, and this is, I'm not using it though every day because I have different grinders, so I'm not using all of them at the same time. I just keep on sweeping or changing between them. Yeah, right now it's clean from inside, and that is the coffee that was there. Let's see how much is that. I'll use a gold scale to make sure I get the exact weight. So let's weigh the Starseekers. Give me a moment. Let's try to show it the scale on the camera. Yeah. Okay, then I'll transfer the coffee here. Let's see how much is that. 0.5 gram. Not much though, only half a gram. All the coffee that remains inside the Niche Zero after like more than 2 months of not being cleaned. Just half a gram. Plus the coffee that was there under the burr, under the sweeper and all that. You can say 1 gram maximum of coffee that remains. Okay, so this is about both of them. Right now both of them are clean. If we throw in some coffee, we will also see how much of the coffee will come out of each of them. That's also gonna be a good exercise. Let's do that together. So first let's put everything back inside the grinder. I'll do that one by one. So first I'll put the cone, then I'll lock it into place with this part like that. Oh, but yeah, like that. No, I believe, yeah, right. And then we'll add the external one. Did I put the sweeper? I didn't. Sorry, excuse me. The sweeper first. And then I'll put the cone. Lock this one inside the hole. Align it first and then lock it. Yes. Yeah, right now it's right in place, and then I'll put the external burr. So this is just a small amount of grease because this is made of metal. This part is made of metal, so I add a little bit of grease here so that I give it some. I think I should replace the grease with a new fresh one so that it gives it some, you know, smooth way of using it and not allowing any friction to happen between the metal. That's it. Now I added some bit of grease on it. Then I'll put the burr in place. Mentioning also that there are 2 springs that the burr will lie on, so that when you press it, it will always have that pushback resistance. But on the Starseeker E55 there are 4 springs, and the grinder didn't actually, no, it came with 2 or 3. Yeah, it came with 3 extra springs in on that pack, so that you have some replacement in case you lost any of them while cleaning or anything, so you still have the replacement. So right now we put everything back, so that we have to close the grinder. So to make sure this gets locked properly, I usually use a chopstick, and then I continue with the screwdriver. Some people are complaining that this bolt should have been, like, you know, going to the other direction in order not to get loose while using the grinder. I agree with them, but this was the design. You can say it's a design flaw that happens, like, for any grinder. Sometimes there are things that, like, you know, that we don't really think about too much while designing, and we don't know how much problems will they cause unless the grinder goes into production. This is one of them, I would say. So you have to always make sure that the color of the grinder is clean, doesn't have a lot of coffee remainings, so that there is nothing that will, you know, get stuck while using the grinder, so that the grinder will always be smooth with you. So I make sure that there is no coffee remaining on the color, and then I close the color. One more thing that I didn't mention about the niche zero is that you need to do recalibration unless you lost your calibration or something like that, by putting this silver dot on that arrow here that says calibrate, and then after that you move back to the zero. But for the Starseeker there is no calibration needed. This is a good thing. It will always lock in the same exact place. Right now, this is how my niche zero is going back. Hopefully, I don't need to do any kind of recalibration. So I'll not do any recalibration. I'll just use it the same way it used to be. So I used to grind coffee around 20. Just keep the same range and see how much will it give me if I make an espresso shot. Meanwhile, let's also do the same and put back everything inside the Starseeker. So I put the sweeper first, then after that I follow that with the you know, this part that goes into locking position with the shaft. Like that, and then I put back the cone after cleaning it. I'm trying to align that hole inside the cone with the similar one there. So I think this is opposite side to that one. Yeah, so it has to be like that. Yeah, so right now it's locked in place properly. Yes, and then I put back the washer, and then I follow that with, is it not locked properly? Yeah, right now it's properly placed. Just need to lock this one. So the niche zero's bolt should be the same way. So if you noticed, we have to lock it this way, but that's when we look it the other way. So that when we look it like anti-clockwise, this will make sure that this bolt will never go out of place. But the problem here with niche zero is that it always goes with the same flow, so that you sometimes, you know, it loses the locking and you need to re-lock it again. So I'll also place my chopstick. Try to give it a good tight one. And that's everything about both the grinders from the inside. I hope that this was really you know, giving you good insight about how each of them is, like, you know, opened and fixed and all that. Meanwhile, let me try to put back everything together. Yeah, see, right now it's placed over the four like springs. And final part is to put back the collar. So these collars are made of aluminum. They have very tiny threads. When you place the collars back, make sure that you don't over thread them or cross thread them, so that you don't face any problems. And it's always good if you add a tiny amount of grease, so that you make sure it goes smooth. Should have added some grease, but since it's already going with me, I'm not going to do that. So as I mentioned, I don't need to do any recalibration, but because it always goes to 85. 85 is like, 15 marks before the 0. So once you go to 85, you go back to 0. This is your 0 point. Okay, I usually do my espressos around 40 here. So it will just be the same. Maybe I'll go to, let's say, 35. Hopefully 35 is not very, make it 38, 37, yeah. Because I hope that it's not very fine for the coffee grounds. As you see, the range is very big here. So they mentioned that the range in the E55 is like 10 microns for each step. Each step, I mean between each number and the next number, there is 5 steps. As you see here, from 35 to 40, there are 5 steps, okay? Each one of them is 10 microns, okay? So right now I'm on 37, okay? And on the niche 0, we don't know how much microns, how many microns between each step and the next. And plus that the range is not that big. I mean, I'm grinding on 20 only, so I have only 20 marks to go back in case my calibration is not mistaken here or wrong or anything. Some people grind at 10, some people grind below 10. That's the main issue that everybody is facing with niche 0, that you never know what kind of a range will you land on after you open the grinder and put it back. Some people, or from the users, the old users or the admins of the niche page, are always saying that you don't need to recalibrate. That's what I did right now, okay? So every time you clean it, you don't need to recalibrate it. However, the users are always reporting the same thing, that you never land on the same numbers when you reopen or when you open the grinder and put it back. If some users are getting that, some others are not. That's the thing, that it's like a mystery. What grind range do you have for your niche 0? Depends from some person to other person. At least the numbers that give you the insight here are not the same for members. So some people like me grind on 20. Maybe some others will grind the same beans on their niche 0s at only 10. I don't know if that's because it's mechanical or what, but for other grinders like this one or others that I've tried, I always land on the same numbers. I don't need to keep looking, where is my 0 point now? Is it different or is it the same? It's just going to the same place every time. Okay, I know the video went very long. I'm really sorry for that, but I wanted to give it a very thorough, talk between us. Right now, I'm going to try this coffee. This is like medium light coffee, medium light roast. This is how it looks. This is a medium light roast coffee. Okay, so I'll weigh 18 grams and 18 grams, and then we will try to grind them together. I use a timer to show you how long will it take for each one of them to grind the 18 grams, okay? That's also a good thing. I want, before grinding, to show you both of them, if they are turned on together, which one will sound louder. Will be one of them that sounds louder than the other, or both of them actually sound the same. This is also something that I wanted to show you before putting the beans in, so that you get a full idea of everything, okay? Let's see that. First I have to plug it. Worthwhile to say that none of them will stop automatically like other grinders. For example, DF64 Gen 1 that stops after 45 seconds. None of them will stop automatically if you turn it on. For example, the Starseeker E74, the previous generation of this one, the one that I reviewed also on the channel, it had a timer that you sit in using this OLED screen that's on the side of the grinder. Okay, so this was also a good idea, that you set the timer that you want. But here you don't have a timer due to the budget constraints, as you all know. Okay, so let's put back the grinders a little bit so that we have space for the scale. I just want to show you how each one of them will be performing and how much coffee will come out of each of them. after grinding. Not going to do any RDT, of course, because we're challenging each of them. Niche 0 is clean now, so if I put 18 grams, how much coffee will I get? That one is also clean. How much coffee will I get if I put 18 grams? Let's figure it out together, because I don't know the answer. I'll just figure it out with you right now in the video. I'll make sure it's exactly 18 grams. I'm sure that not the 18 grams will come out. That's 17.9. I think it's 18 point something, but it's showing 18, but maybe it's 18.5 or 18.4, something like that. Okay. I'll just put the coffee and I will grind it. The cup here weighs 108.7 grams. Let's see how long time will it take to grind the 18 grams. So 22 seconds. And blowing out the rest of the coffee. Not much mess is happening around the grinder, that's a good thing. There is some coffee dust that is falling, but I think it's not that much. Right? Yeah, so that's the burr. It just goes without anything inside. Which is a good thing here, that you can take out the, what do you call it, the chute, so that you can always see the coffee that you ground. And that's the coffee. Not messy at all, which is a great thing. Let's see together how much or how it weighs on the scale. 17.8. I have to say that there is a little bit of coffee fill here when I blew hard. Maybe that's like 0.1 grams. It fell on the counter. Let's sweep them and put them in the cup and see how much will it be. The counter is very clean, and I just want to make sure I captured every single bit of coffee. How come? No way. So the scale seems to have a problem. Let's use the other one, because the weight is decreasing and this is really impossible. Let's use the other scale, the gold scale. I think this one is giving us better visibility on the exact weight. So I'll just transfer the coffee to see. Yeah, 17.87. I would say 17.9, which is 0.1 grams of coffee is here or there. That's the coffee that we ground with the Starseeker E55. I didn't mention that the cups of each grinder of them is not the same. As you know, the Starseeker's cup is smaller than the niche. So this is 58 millimeters and this is only 50 millimeters or 51. So this is 50, this is 58. That can be a challenge for some people if you transfer coffee from a cup to another, or if you have to use the coffee directly into a portafilter, then it's not gonna be easy for you to transfer it without a dosing ring. That's why I have the dosing ring here with me. So let's try to grind coffee in the niche 0. So we took here 22 seconds to grind 18 grams of coffee. Let's see how long will it take us here. Grind the same 18 grams and how much will fall from the grinder after grinding the 18 grams. Okay, so we've got 18 grams here exactly on the scale. And let's see, without RDTing, what will happen if I grind this coffee on number 20. Okay. Let's start. It's 20 seconds or 21 seconds, not all of the coffee even. I should also blow because I blew here, so I have to blow here also, so that I give it a fair comparison. So I use this thing to blow the coffee from the near zero. Doesn't look nice, but it just does the job, and that's what really matters. So let's see how much coffee is here. So the scale turned off, but it's okay, we'll use another cup. The cup is clean here. No mess happened around the grinder too, and that is 17.68. So we're talking about much more retention inside the niche zero in comparison to the other grinder. As you see, when I hit it on the top like that, sometimes I use the same brush to knock the shoot, and some coffee will fall like what you see now. Put that also here. So we'll end up 17.76. The other one is 17.87. So we're talking about mostly not very far from each other, but I think I need to grind a couple more beans in the niche so that I take the 18 grams. Yeah, now it's 18 grams. Maybe one more bean here for the Starseeker, just for consistency of the shot. Then we will try to see if it really So right now we get the coffee that we need from each of them. And you can tell me in the comments which one sounded better for you, the Niche Zero or the Starseeker E55. And the coffee smells amazing from both of them. I think the grind is not bad also in both of them. It looks very similar. This is how it looks on the niche. No clumps, nothing, everything's fine. And this is how it looks also on the Starseeker A55, no clumps, nothing. Both of them really look very nice. They are very consistent. And we didn't try how each of them will perform in filter, but I think this has to go in another video because this video is becoming very long right now, 47 minutes, too much. I'll quickly do the espressos for both of them and see how each one of them looks like. So this is the Niche Zero, starting with it. Use the same ritual you've seen me doing in the previous videos. WDC and force tamper, yummy coat and force tamper, so everything is just the same. We can't complain about the puck prep. I'll see how long will it take me to do the first shot here. Should I use a mirror? I hope that the mirror will really give some visibility for the video. Yeah, like that. I think it's fine. So this is the Niche Zero cup. I'll turn on the scale timer once I turn on the pump. I'll give it 10 seconds of pre-infusion using the low flow, then I will turn on the flow to the maximum. Yeah. Then I'll turn on the flow to the maximum. And this is how the Niche Zero extraction looks like. I hope you can see it. Looks good. Timing wise is not bad. Yeah, 38 grams in 26 seconds. Let's quickly do the other one. So the same puck prep for the other cup. same prep. Let's show the camera here. 10 seconds. Then I also move it to full flow. Yeah. Extraction looks beautiful too. Little bit fast. Not so fast, but it's fine. Actually the same, 38 in 25 seconds. Or maybe 26. 2 extractions we got almost in the same time. This is really a miracle. I didn't prepare that, guys, believe me. Just happened like that. Both of them look nice. Let's taste them and see if there's any difference or no. So this is near zeros, this is Starseeker, okay? Let's try the near zero first. Balanced, not so acidic. The coffee is acidic because it's a natural anaerobic bean from Colombia. It has so much fruits in it, plus the fermentation that it went through. No berries and stuff like that. Okay, how about that one? So the taste has a difference here. It's more pronounced. I feel the fruit hints more. The acidity of the fruits is appearing here more than here. This actually is more tasty. This is more muted, I would say. This is more unlocked. Both of them taste really nice, but if I have to choose one, I will choose that one. I'm not biased, but I'm just saying my opinion. I'll try to do a quick analysis on the D Floyd R2 to see just as a glance how each one of them like TDS wise performs. It has to be the room temperature, so I'm just blowing it a little bit. Okay, it has to be less than 40. Test it. Near zero is 9.14 TDS wise. That's the extraction percentage it shows. Around 23%. It should fall from 18 to 22 to be on the sweet spot. Yeah, 9.12. Give it a rinse. Give it a quick clean with the towel. And let's try the other one so that I give you a full insight about both of them. I hope that this video is beneficial to you. I know it's very long, but you know, I feel like it's a discussion more than a scripted video. Okay, let's try the other one. At first close it, and then turn it on again. And put the coffee. And I'll do the analysis to see. The other one was 9.12. This one is 9.93, 23.5. The TDS here is more. Is this the reason that gives more complexity to the taste? However, the time for both of them is the same, and the same coffee beans. Yeah, it's way better that this is more pronounced, guys. It's definitely, if you blind taste it, you can't be mistaken. You cannot ever be mistaken. So my judgment is that so far, for me, for my tasting and my result that I got right now, I mean, just for it to be a judgment for the grinder, it has to be tested against different types of coffee and different types of brewing and different types of people to taste it and see if they all, you know, have the same feedback or no. But my own feedback for this experience that I just had with you right now is that I like the result that I got here more than here. So I like the E55 more than the niche. That's my final say for this video. Maybe my opinion will change with other types of coffee. But for this particular one now, and for this particular test we did together, I can't go back in my word. So this was everything about our video for today. I hope that it was really giving you the insights you were looking for. I hope I didn't miss anything. I hope I didn't forget to mention anything. Yet, if there's any point that I missed, we can also make other videos for it. You can ask in the comments. I can always, you know, reply to you to answer your questions. And it's really giving me honor that I have you guys watching me on my videos. I'll see you in the next videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you feel that I'm adding any, you know, useful information to you. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Thank you.